All right, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll call to order the City of West Palm Beach Special Magistrate Code Enforcement 11 o'clock a.m. agenda for May 20th, 2020. My name is Keith Davis. I'm the special magistrate that's been appointed by the city to preside over this agenda. These are all requests for lien reduction. So the way we'll proceed with these cases, when your case is called, you can come up to the podium to my right, and I will first hear from the city. They'll give me some background information on the case. Once I've gotten that information, as well as a recommendation from the city on the request, then I will hear from you anything that you want to tell me about your request for the lien reduction. And once I've heard everything from both you and the city, I will enter an order in some form or fashion this morning. If you're going to be speaking to me, you do need to be placed under oath. So if you'll stand and raise your right hands, I'll swear everybody in that's going to be testifying, if you can stand. Thank you. Each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. You can all have a seat. I notice on the agenda there are a few places where we have multiple agenda items that deal with the same address. So when we get to those, we can take them all together. And then with that, if you want to go ahead and call the cases in, I don't know if you had a sign-in sheet, whatever order you want to call them, we can go ahead and start.
Other matter number 1 and 2, 921577 1307 Florida Avenue, and CE 0602 0086 1307 Florida Avenue.
Okay.
Sorry, Magistrate.
That's okay.
Okay. The first case is 92-1577. Date ordered 12/16/92, fine started 1/17 of 93. Ran for 5,707 days. It's $285,350. It was $50 a day. Date of compliance was 9/2 of 08. And on that one, due to the age of the lien, the city's asking for 0.
I'm guessing there's not going to be any objection to that recommendation.
I don't think so. I can't do any more, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's based simply on the age of the lien. Second one is case ending in 086, 1307 Florida. Date ordered 7/14/06, fine started 8/29/06. Ran for 756 days. Total is $189,000. It was $250 a day. Date of compliance 9/23 of 08. It's a new owner who owns several properties but has no significant history with the city and cases whatsoever. Normally, we would just say standard 25% based on the size. We're asking for 5%. Also, I've got another staff member that wanted to speak on this.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing you
I
said.
have another staff member that wants to be heard.
Oh, okay, let's go ahead and, were you sworn in?
It's not, I apologize.
That's okay. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, my name is Frederique Mettner. I'm the city's historic preservation planner, and I just wanted to come and share with you that this applicant has done an amazing job with this house. They've actually won a preservation award from transforming it to an eyesore in the neighborhood to really a spectacular piece of architecture. So I just wanted to offer my support for this case.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm sure the applicant appreciates that as well. Okay, so 5% of 189 would be 9,450.
Yes, sir.
That's the city's recommendation. All right, let me hear from applicant. And tell me your name and address, and then we'll go from there.
My name is Maria Gabriela Gasline, and I live on 1307 Florida Avenue, the property which we're speaking. I brought you pictures. Is it okay if I give them to you?
Why don't you go ahead and show them to the city first, and then,
All right, well, I've been a resident of West Palm Beach for over 25 years. I have purchased a few properties. I would consider myself a small investor. I don't get rid of things. I think I figured that in the last 20 years, I've purchased about 7 properties and gone rid of just 1. I have a heart for historic. We salvage things. We believe it's important to save history. When I was looking at this house was located only 3 blocks from my house, and I checked with the city, and I realized that there was such a hefty lien on it. I basically did it on a wing and a prayer, saying, I sure hope that the city realizes that, first of all, I did not commit any of those things. The amounts are outrageous, and it just, I'm not done. When you see the pictures, good work's been done. This was a dump. It's coming back to where it needs to be, but it's not really done. We still have lots of woodwork. We still have, we haven't even finished the back building totally. Now, I'm the best house on the block by far. And I'm not even done. This was a lot that had no landscape. It had 2 trees and 2 palm trees. And I counted yesterday, and I've added already 30 palm trees, 100 plants, and it doesn't even look like it has that much, you know? So, and then there's just lots of work, the back. I want this pressed Cuban tile. Well, $5,000 to just add that.
Are these the before pictures?
Those are the before pictures.
okay.
So you see, that was the side. Now there's a patio. That's the front. I mean, look at that. And those are your pictures. Those are the city's pictures.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't feel like I have to defend the work just because it's beautiful. And we got an award. That was very exciting. We got the craftsmanship award for the year. But there is still a lot to come, so I'm not done spending money. Any money you charge me would be a burn, not to mention that with everything that is happening today, people are losing their jobs, they're not being able to pay rent, so things are not easy. And I'm not stopping the work I'm gonna do, but there's still a lot more to come, so anything you charge me would be a burden.
How much do you think you've put into it in terms of dollars? And before you answer that, does the city have any objection to me looking at these and making?
No
these part
objection
of
to
it?
the pictures.
All right. Okay, then I'm gonna take a look at the album that you provided. And then you can go ahead and tell me if you have an idea of what it's cost to turn this thing around the way you have.
I mean, from buying, I tell you, minimum we're into probably, I'd say 300, well over 300, and that is without canning, because we pulled her owner permit, so my husband did absolutely all of the work in that house, and we're talking about $350 without labor, and we put the roof, the plumbing, you understand, there's very few people as capable as my husband when it comes to construction to be able to work on their own and create that kind of work.
Well, it's very obvious. And just as a complete aside, I love what you did with how you left the fireplace. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Sort of
Well, that's, in my
nod to
book,
the
that's
past.
unfinished. But we haven't come to an agreement whether wood or coral, so. Anyway, and there's a lot. I mean, I just got appliances last Thanksgiving. You understand? There's so much to come to it. And and my only worry throughout this whole job is, can I make it out of here without having to pay any money? I've already put a big investment in this city, and not just in this home, I've done it in several homes. So that's what I would be asking you.
Okay. Anything else from the city on this one?
Other than our ask is a 95% reduction, which is pretty substantial, no.
Well, then I certainly have no objection in the first case, tab ending, agenda item 1, 92-1577. The city's recommendation is that it be reduced to 0. I will certainly agree to that. And in case number, agenda item 2, which is the case ending in 086, based on everything I've heard, this is a new owner who's, based on the testimony, has come out of pocket substantially more than the total value of the lien. And the city's staff's testimony and the preservation award, there clearly was above and beyond work done on the restoration of this. I'm not going to reduce it to 0. I am going to bring it all the way down to $1,000 because there was some expense incurred by the city in dealing with the cases over time. So, but I will give you as much time as you need to pay that. Can you do that in 30 days? Or do you need more time than that?
I paid for the permit twice. Sure, I'll within 30 days.
I
I'll
can
pay
do,
the
I can do 60 or even 90
No.
days if that, all right, $1,000 within 30 days, and really congratulations on what you've done.
Thank
here.
you, thank you so much.
Okay. I did look at it. Is there a way we can get copies of these pictures so that the city's record, because I did consider them in making my decision.
Can't hear you. Sure. Oh, Donald left. Frederick will take her across the hall.
Have a good day. Thank you, Monique.
Other matter number 5, CE 1609-0162, 3025 Ridgeway Avenue.
Good morning.
Case ending in 162-3025 Ridgeway, date order 10/19 of 16, fine started 11/21 of 16. Ran for 960 days, total is $96,100 a day. Date of compliance 7/9 of 19, same owner. Owned since 2006, history is 6 cases in that time. Concedes to having rented for that time, but had no rental license until this case in 2016. City's asking for 30%.
Yeah. Yeah. My name is Paula Cheney. I live at 3025 Ridgeway Avenue, West Palm Beach, Florida. I purchased the property with my children's father in 2006. He died in 2008. I tried to keep the property with my family. I never rent it out until in 2006, my son friend from school have 3 children in Belvedere Elementary, and we were in the process of moving from there to another home, and he asked if we could assist him to stay there until he could get a place to keep the children in school close by. So I assist him, but after the 3 months run out, I couldn't find, every time I go and try to get him, he's not there. So he keep pulling out until about 6 months before I got in touch with him and tell him that he had to leave because, we don't rent you, you're just staying there till you could get somewhere else for your children. So after that, he leave. He called me and said he leave, but I never get the key. So I went in and see that the place, he already take his things out in 2006. I take over back the place, and my son and we stayed there on and off. He stayed there. It's more than one son I have. So they stayed there and helped me to pay the bills so that we could keep the place without it going foreclosure, because it was hard on me first to keep it. So they went to work at an early age, never get to go to college, just to help me pay for the house. So right now, I'm living there with one of my sons. So it wasn't a rental property. It's just help. I try to help somebody out.
Hang on, there we go. So your testimony is that it's never been an actual rental property?
No, not actually. This is one of my sons.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Did you have a testimony that you wanted to offer? Were you sworn in were you here?
Yes, I was sworn.
Thank you very much. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, please.
My name is Swahi Hay. I currently live at 219 North Chillingworth Drive. In 2016, she had to rent out the property. She rented out to someone named Francisco. Because Francisco was not giving her the letters of when the city was sending it to her of anything, she wasn't getting that information. Around 3 years, I believe 3 or 2 years later, I went and got my real estate license. When we tried to finally give up on the house and sell it because we couldn't handle it no more, that is when we finally found out that we had a lien on the property. And that's when I started working on it and trying to help her out with getting to this process.
Okay, I understand. I appreciate the clarification on that. And how long did that person, Francisco, how long was he a tenant there?
He was a tenant there for 1 year.
Okay.
After the year finished, he left the property. My little brother moved back into the property, and then he stayed there for furthermore.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anything else from the city on this one?
No, sir, we have nothing further.
Okay. All right. So the city's recommendation was 30%, which is $28,800. Based on everything I've heard, I've listened to all the testimony. Quick look at the code. Mr. Posner, you mentioned 6 other cases. What?
Yes, sir. I don't have the case history with me. I can look that up if you need me to.
Was it the same property?
Right.
She did have some cases that weren't under her name.
Okay.
She did.
All right. I'm going to reduce this to $2,000. How long would it take you to pay that? I can give you as much time as you reasonably need.
30 days.
30 days is fine? Okay. $2,000, 30 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Other matter number 6, CE 18100-315-4214 Greenwood Avenue. And other matter number 10, CE 17030505 Greenwood Avenue.
Okay, good morning.
Good
Mr.
morning.
Posner, whenever you're ready.
Okay, going chronologically, older case ending in 505, 4214 Greenwood. Date ordered 4/19 of 17, fine started 6/19 of 17, ran for 401 days. 40,100 is the total, at $100 a day. Date of compliance 7/25 of 18. Same owner. Case ending in 315, 4214 Greenwood, date order 11/7 of 18. Fine started 11/13 of 18, ran for 496 days. Total $99,200, $200 a day. Date of compliance 3/23 of 20. Same owner. The only mitigation put down is that they complied the violation, which of course they have to get here anyway. The history is 10 cases under the ownership. City's asking for 50%.
One question, the 2018 case indicates that that was a repeat violation. Was that based on the 2017 case, or was there some?
Yes, sir. It was based on the earlier violation for both junk vehicle and unpaid parking.
Yeah, I see the same violations were listed, and then the 2018 is also listed as a repeat. Okay. All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name and address, please?
Pedro Velazquez. The address of the property is 4214 Greenwood Avenue.
All right, what would you like to tell me about your request?
Well, this property was purchased initially, me being manager of RJS Real Investment back in 2015. It was purchased at the county courthouse auction. Extensive repairs were done to it. It was an eyesore at that time. After that, we rented it out, and I purchased it from the previous owner, who was RJS Real Investment. I believe RJS Real Investment is the company that is on the oldest case. And these are tenants that are Central American. They're not used to all these rules and regulations. It's been a hard process to get them to understand that they can't leave stuff outside. They've been robbed several times. That has helped me get them to keep their stuff indoors. That's why I invested on the fence to get them to stay there and not leave the property. It is a kind of an unsafe neighborhood. And the hardest thing for me to be able to correct, the violation that was most difficult for me to correct, was the one that mentioned vehicles being parked on the grass. As you can see, there's been an extensive area paved with pavers that took some money saving up, fixing up the fences and all that. I believe that now, at this point in time, the tenants have been educated better and they are keeping their stuff better. I also didn't have the code violation letters reaching me because I live in another place, and the tenants just received them and discarded them or threw them away and never mentioned them to me. So having the letters reach me as manager and owner of the property would be really helpful for me to act faster in a more diligent way. As of now, I had to reduce the rent that they were paying to keep them there. They work in construction jobs, and we all know what's going on. So whatever leniency you can afford me, I would be really appreciated.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Anything else from the city on this?
Well, the city does contend that he would be considered an owner for both cases. I've got the printout from Sunbiz for the RGS Real Investment, showing him as an officer of that LLC.
Manager, not owner.
Managing member of the LLC?
He's listed twice,
I was,
once as an officer,
I was
once as a...
an authorized person.
Okay.
Acting as a manager. The investment capital came from the partners themselves. Aces Design, I am manager and owner with my wife.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, so then, if I'm understanding this correctly, he managed the property during a violation, bought it with the same violation, and is now the owner with a new violation. That's what I think he just explained.
Could you repeat that?
You were the manager during the first violation, bought the property, and you were the property owner for the second violation.
Yes, but I was an authorized person of the company that owned it. I didn't have absolute leeway to do what I wanted. I had to respect the owner's orders.
I understand. All right. So the city's recommendation is for 50%. The total liens for both cases together is about $140,000, just under $140,000. So 50% of that would be 69,000 and change. One of the difficulties with this case is that the second case is a repeat violation of the first case. Nevertheless, given the circumstances and everything I've heard, let's see, I have to do these separately. I can't do them as a lump sum, so let me. All right, the case ending in 315, that's the 2018 case. The lien is $99,200. I'll reduce that one to $9,000. And in the case ending in 505, that's the 2017 case. I'll reduce that one to $1,000. How long will it take you to pay those, so I can give you a reasonable amount of time? I've given up to 9 months in the past, so that's sort of the.
If you could give me 10 months so I can pay $1,000 a month or something like
Does anybody have any
that.
objection to that time frame?
No objection.
Granted, I'll do that. 10 months.
Is there any way that you could reduce that a little bit more? Maybe I could pay it sooner?
That's what I think is appropriate in this case. So,
Okay.
But I'm happy to give you the 10 months.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Those are yours, yes.
Where to next?
Other matter number 4, CE 1803019, 1331 Longwood Street.
Good morning. Mr. Posen, whenever you're ready.
Case ending in 199, 1331 Longwood. Date ordered 5/2 of 18, fine started 8/2 of 18, ran for 151 days, 15,100 is the total, $100 a day, date of compliance 12/31 of 18. Same owner, city's asking for 30%. One point to add, magistrate, the only mitigating factor listed is they live in New York and tried to get it done in time but couldn't. But as you know, code requires they have somebody local that can get things done.
You said 30% was your recommendation on this one?
Yes, sir, same owner, 30%.
All right, thank you. All right, good morning, sir. Why don't you tell me your name and address, please?
The address of my name is Philip Lippman, and the address of the property is 1331 Longwood Street. I reside in New York.
How are you affiliated with the property?
The owner couldn't come down. I have an affidavit saying that I could represent her because
Okay.
she's unable to be
He
here.
is the designated agent, sir.
Okay, go ahead then.
Before I start, did he say 150? What's the total?
The total lien that's on record is $15,100. The city's recommendation is that it be reduced to no more than 30% of that, which would be $4,530.
Okay. I just wanted to mention the extenuating circumstances. Yeah, of course, we were working with managers. When the owner bought the property, she had no idea that wooden framed houses in Southern Florida fall apart and that it was a decrepit house. We were told it was a good house, and she bought it. So we got a manager, Ruth, and I have some text from her showing that basically she just lost her mind with the house, and she told us she can't deal with it. I don't want to read all the texts from the manager, but she states that she sent to another manager the house right when this went into, had the problems. So we were confused in New York. We didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden we get a phone call. We didn't even know really about the code violations from one of the tenants. The code violations were lost. Nobody knew where they were. I have on the text Ruth saying that she might have given it to Frank. I don't know where they went. I eventually did get a text copy, like on my telephone, and I was able to expand it, and I saw like 35 violations, and then I saw how to remedy it. And you give like 5 or 6 things of what you can do to remedy a problem. Now, because it was on the phone, I couldn't even see that they were remedies, and I saw these 5 or 6 things, plus the 5 or 6 other violations and 35 violations. It looked like 150 violations. Now, we're stuck in New York. We have no idea. We have no manager right now. She left. She sent us to another manager named Frank, and Frank decides he doesn't want to talk to the owner for some unknown reason, and that's how I get involved. So then I started talking to Frank and this guy, a gentleman by the name of John Murphy. I get a call from John Murphy, and he says, give me a call. We have some problems in the house. And it was pretty scary, so I called him up, and I said, okay. So, and that's when I started to find out what the violations were. But again, we didn't really understand at this point what was going on, because some of the violations were things like broken screen, and we had already put up all the screens. You know, so it's like they seem to be over and over again. We needed parking spaces. That doesn't make any sense to someone living in New York. We need parking spaces? How are we supposed to do that? So the owner figured, okay, we need to get to the bottom of this. So she had to buy a plane ticket. This is going to take some months. It takes time. She's a working woman. She couldn't, you know, just drop everything and go. So that took some time. So anyway, we eventually got to the bottom of everything, and so then it came down to the wire, and we're about to, you know, get everything closed. And at this point, I'm just trying to settle all the animosity between tenants and managers and owners. The owner and the manager don't get along. And so I have a couple of texts to show that me and John Murphy did what we were supposed to do. And these texts are dated, I could present them to you as evidence, but they're dated December 13th, December 17th, and December 18th. And the lien expires on December 30th, okay, which is Christmas time. And so for a manager who doesn't like an owner, he's not gonna be too, you know, nice about giving up his Christmas things and stuff. And at this point, I was talking to John Murphy. And John Murphy is I don't know if you know him, but he's a very nice man. And he made me feel that the most important thing is just to take care of the violations, that this is the house, that the fines and stuff like that, that's not, we'll take care of that later. It's not important. He really calms me down during the whole process. And so my job was only to coordinate between John and Frank. That's my only job. I'm in New York. So if I may, starting December 13th, I say Frank. Frank is my manager. Frank, the meeting with John Murphy is set for Monday, December 17th at 2 p.m. at the house. And he says, okay. December 17th, I write, good morning, Frank. Today is the inspection of the house at 2 p.m. Show John the pictures of the roach guy and show him all this stuff, and I go on. And he writes back, good morning, send me the contract again, and all this other stuff. He's confused. He doesn't know what's going on. So I told him twice about the meeting. And then I told him a third time at the meeting. I said, and then at the morning of the meeting, I said, good morning, Frank. The appointment is between the appointment is between 11 and 1. This is important. And he says, okay. And I said that, and then I go forward, and we start talking about roaches and things like that and what to show him. And then at the end, for some reason, after I told him 3 times, I'll just have to read it to you. I said, okay. So I said, I know that, Frank. The receipt is for John. He said, okay. He says, he didn't pick up. I guess we have to reschedule. So at this point, it's December 17th at 2:20, and I wrote to Frank, he didn't pick up. I guess we have to reschedule. I'm sorry I yelled. It's just a bit of pressure. So as you could see, I really wanted the appointment to take place, but Frank, my manager, for some reason, didn't show up. After writing to him to show up many times, and he says, I understand, I'm here again. I got here at 11:30. And I said, no, he left. His number is 561-225-7800. And he said, okay. I did call and I left a message. And I said, okay, but we need to reschedule later. Go home. Sorry it didn't work out. And he said, it's not your fault. The guy thinks he's so important and didn't wait for a few minutes. Government workers are all the same. And I just want to I didn't want that. I just said, this is correct, but he is important. He can cost Green Holding LLC thousands of dollars in fines. He has the authority to take a house away. We need to treat him with respect. And he said, agreed. I think I did my job. I did what I could to make sure that we close before the 31st. I told Frank, my manager, 3-4 times, he's a new manager, he's not talking to the owner. The old manager started taking medication because she couldn't deal with the house. I have texts from the old manager as well, and I'd like to submit this as evidence, and I don't believe, from all that we've tried, I don't believe that we should have to pay. We tried so hard to take care of all the violations.
Why don't you show those documents to the city, and then I'll take a look at them.
The second and third page. The first page is from the first manager. It's just page 1 of 2 and page 2 of 2. Page 1 of 1 is from the first manager.
And this is everything that you just,
This is what I read to you, except for page 1. I didn't read the first manager's. It's just to show that it's the same sort of climate, that it was very hard to deal from New York.
okay. All right, and without objection, we'll accept these 3 pages of text messaging into the record for this hearing. Thank you, sir. What else, is there anything else you'd like to tell me on this?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else from the city?
Everything you described is inherent hazards of owning a rental property from so far away, and completely civil matters between apparently 2 managers that they hired that didn't do what they were hired to do. The city's still asking for 30%.
Okay. All right, thank you. Currently, and as I said, is $15,100. The city's recommendation is to reduce to no more than 30%, which would be $4,530. Based on everything I've heard, I'm going to agree to reduce this lien to $3,000, payable within, how much time do you need to pay that?
Can we do it in 6 months?
Any objection from the city?
No, sir.
6 months, 180 days, however you need to write that in. Okay, done, thank you.
Thank you. Do I need to take that?
Other matter number 9, CE 160801734008 North Australian Avenue.
If it'll help you, the lid to that comes off.
Don't be too cautious.
That's why it's there.
Okay, all right, Mr. Posen, whenever you're ready.
Case ending in 173, 4008 North Australian Avenue, date ordered 9/21/16, fine started 10/24/16, ran for 1,050 days, total $105,000, $100 a day, date of compliance 9/9/19. Same owner, only mitigation is they thought it was complied in 2016. Bottom line on all this is they had a police chronic case at the same time, and they were told that that case was complied by the PD officer. But this is not contact they had with the code office in any way whatsoever, revolving around the code case itself. In addition, when we went to do the lien reduction inspection to get to a hearing, we found that the garage had been illegally converted to another unit. So we had to resolve that as well. Normal circumstances, the city would ask for 50%. We understand the times and their confusion regarding the concurrent case, so we're asking for 30%.
All right, thank you. All right. Yes, sir, good morning. Why don't you tell me your name and address, please?
Jeffrey Nelson, I'm the owner. Property address is 4008 North Australian Avenue, West Palm Beach. You guys have this from the last time we discussed our notes.
Probably.
It's the summary of,
That was with your application, wasn't it?
probably.
Yes, yeah, we have it with the application.
Thank you, sir.
What you're looking at on the first page is just kind of a summary
Okay,
of events. And the city official is correct. We had an issue with a tenant. And, you know, sometimes these things go smoothly, sometimes they don't. And this tenant additionally had a mental health issue. And we had to engage an attorney to process an eviction. There were also, under subsidized housing, so we had to deal with the housing department. And we finally got this tenant out. So our main involvement was with Officer Kirshner, which for us, we didn't know the difference between Officer Kirshner with the police department and the city official building department. So these things are kind of running simultaneously. So on the pages, we start at the top. So we get cited, we have a damaged window, missing grass in the swell, and a bucket outside. So you can see from the city's picture, which I included, page 3, you can see there's a bucket, there's the bucket, the swell, and the awnings. So in August, that was in August 2016. or I'm saying August 2016. On August 16th, we contracted a vendor to repair, take care of the awning and landscape. August 30th, the awning was repaired, everything was what we thought was taken care of. Simultaneously, we have finally gotten possession of the property. We sent an email to Officer Kirshner, which is page, looks back here, and it just says, I'll read it to you. Officer Kirshner, please be advised that of 10/13/2016, our efforts to regain possession of property were advantageous. The tenant has vacated the premises on 10/11 for the property is in compliance with the following issues: missing grass and items stored in public view. Please advise if further information is needed. That was sent by Jackie. Jackie is she works with us, she's our property manager.
Okay.
So
And
our
I
understanding
am
is.
following along, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I said I have the email, I'm following along.
So, we, at this point, we think we're done. And then I guess there was some notice of hearing or something came up, which we were not aware of. They start this $100 fine, and it runs until we try to sell the property. And that's when Jackie told me that the title company said we can't sell the property. This was last summer, last July. So it became an issue. So we've been trying to work on this since. And you can see this first page is really just a summary of everything.
Yes.
We additionally, show our bank statement. We show the invoices for our vendor. We brought our vendor here because the last time we had a discussion.
And the vendor is Curb Appeal, I saw those. So
Correct.
is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So, we understand the need for code compliance. We're an owner that we take care of everything immediately. You can see, here's a picture from the listing, when the
saw
property
that.
was listing. And then the city official mentioned that we enclosed a garage or enclosed an area illegally. This is a property record card from the property appraiser.
Go ahead and show that to,
So the tax year is 2012. This is the previous owner, which was Ronald Pugh. And what I really wanted to show here was on this record card, and I think he doesn't have a copy.
let me just, does the city have any objection to these documents?
We don't object to the documents per se, but we do note that they are from the county, not the city, as far as permitting or any changes go. And those records are not going to be the same.
Thank
The
you.
previous owner, and you can see on the top right, there's an area called base and an area called semi-finished base. So when somebody encloses a garage area, it converts to semi-finished base because it doesn't have the same floor level.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. After these issues with the violations, the city comes back out and goes, oh, you enclosed the garage. Well, it was already enclosed before it was applied. So we did immediately hire a contractor, hired an engineer, and took care of that problem. Permitted, it's done.
Okay.
And that was done expeditiously.
So whatever, that is no longer a issue, is,
No, it's been resolved, and the city has no issue stipulating that it occurred before they bought the property.
Yeah. So I understand where, you have owners that are just a constant nuisance and constant problems and ignoring problems. We didn't ignore anything. We were very responsive. We're on top of everything. We have to also, be respectful of tenants' issues and their problems, which delayed the eviction. So I don't know what more we could have possibly done. The notice for the liens and all that, we did not receive. Now, I know the city said they sent them and there is a signature, it's not mine, but whatever, that's neither here nor there, those things happen. We just think that number is is excessive, and I don't know what more to say. I mean,
No, I appreciate
Jackie-
it.
Jackie's really been involved with the whole thing, and any questions or anything?
No, I don't have any questions. I can see from the documents you provided, there was certainly good faith intent to move this in the right direction. So let me ask City if you have anything additional that you wanted to.
Yes, sir. We don't doubt their intent, but I do have to disagree with the statement that they were on top of everything. They weren't even aware there were two separate cases. We did check the question of notice. Everything was sent to the address listed with the county. Now, one thing about their timeline there it's completely inaccurate. It starts with August of 2016, received notification of violation case CE 16080173, which is the notification for the code enforcement case. The PD case starts with the letters PD. And then it says immediately contacted the code enforcement officer, Kirshner, who is a PD officer, not a code enforcement officer. The PD case wasn't cited until a month later. So at the time of receiving that notice in August of 2016, they say they shouldn't have even had Kirshner's name on any paperwork. So there's definitely some inaccuracies here. There's similar inaccuracies further on. Again, normally we'd ask for 50%, the city's asking for 30.
Yeah, I mean, and as I started, I mentioned, we don't know the difference between city officials. It's the same email. And Jackie really was the one involved with all of the, building people. I mean, I don't know what more.
I understand. Okay. In this case then, having heard everything, or reviewed all the documents I've been provided, the lien on record is $105,000. The city's recommendation is to reduce it to no more than $30,000. But based on what I've heard, I think the appropriate reduction is, I'm going to reduce this to $3,500. Can you pay that within 30 days? 30 days. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Other matter number 7, CE 07030699. Other matter number 8, CE 08060018. And other matter number 11, CE 12030567 3020 Greenwood Avenue.
Okay. Good morning. And whenever you're ready, Mr. Posner.
Okay. I didn't catch all of that. There's 3 of these, right?
Yeah, agenda
Okay.
items number 7, 8, and 11.
All right, chronological order, oldest first. Case ending in 699, 3020 Greenwood Avenue. Date ordered 5/4/07, fine started 5/22/07. Ran for 28 days, total is $5,600. Ran for $200 a day, date of compliance 6/19/07. New owner. Case ending in 018, 3020 Greenwood. Date ordered 7/25/08. Fine started 5/28/08. Ran for 55 days, total $12,375. At $225 a day, date of compliance 7/22/08. New owner. Case ending in 5/67/66/2012. Fine started 7/10/2012. Ran for 1,989 days. Total $99,450. Fine was $50 a day. Date of compliance 12/20/17. Also, new owner. Mitigating factors in this. One of them is all 3 of these under the prior owner did go to a lien reduction, but they never paid and then it reverted. My understanding is that the time she purchased the property, the previous owner conveyed the thought that it was already taken care of. She has an email from Laura Borso, the chronic nuisance manager, advising her it was settled, but misunderstanding settled in our terms is it had been reduced at a hearing, but it never had actually been paid. And she had a conduits report at the time that showed 2 liens, but not the amount, so she thought there was no lien amount. Either way, these are older liens, She's a new owner. The city's only asking standard 25%.
And the prior lien reduction hearings were with the previous owner.
Correct. The previous owner went in on 5/2 of 2018, before the property was sold. Got a reduction on all three, but never paid the reduced amount. It reverted entirely to the old amount.
Good morning, ma'am. Were you here when I placed everybody under oath at the beginning of the hearing?
No,
Go
sir.
ahead and swear
I
you
had
in.
alerted, yeah,
Okay. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
absolutely.
Thank you very much. Go
Can I
ahead.
add something? I promise you'll appreciate it.
Yeah?
Okay, on the third lien, I wasn't reading the notes correctly. Given the size of the lien, the city was only asking for 10% on that third one,
Okay,
not 25%.
gotcha. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm Christy Mosbach. I purchased this property last year. It was in considerable state of disrepair. But prior to purchasing it, I did, it had been boarded up for a long time in one of the eyesores of Greenwood on the railroad tracks. And I thought I had done my homework because, as the city mentioned, I traded emails with the code officer that says both liens were settled, one in '07 and the other in 2018. And I thought settled, to me, settled means settled, the issue's gone. And I had paid $125 for a conduit search, at the top of which says the city of West Palm Beach is interested in the real property. And then it says lien 1 of 2 is $321, and lien 2 of 2, $324. So it only, and then then there's some water liens and a utility bill. So my understanding was that all the liens were taken care of. I was very well aware that there were back taxes, and the day after I purchased it, I went to the courthouse and paid $26,000 in back taxes on the property. So I thought that everything at that point was cleared up. I put on a new roof, and that and the other renovation expenses exceeded $40,000. I made the place beautiful. I put some tenants in, and now they're not even paying me. Because of Corona. They're not bad people. They just lost their jobs and they don't have money to pay me. So anyway, I thought I had done my homework, and I'm learning that the word settled is a very incendiary word.
I understand.
I'm happy to show you all of these if you'd like them. The Mitch is.
Yeah, well, yeah, just go ahead and show them to,
I have them already,
oh, you
sir.
have them already? Yeah, if you don't mind, let me see what you got. Yeah.
This is actually a repeat. We were here before you and pulled it to investigate the documents that she's handing you right now.
Oh, okay. This was one of the ones that we continued from the last,
Yes, sir.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was the only one that we were able to get back quickly enough to get it here.
I remember, okay.
If you look at page 2 of the conduit search, you'll see there's a separate section for code enforcement down below,
Yeah.
and you'll see where it shows 2 liens. And the conduit search never shows the amounts on the code liens, which is why we stay very busy getting constant emails saying, "Can you tell us what this lien is for?"
Okay. Okay, thank you. We'll make those part of the record. You said you put about $40,000 into a new roof on this property.
New roof and renovation, and then $27,000 in back taxes, and then the purchase price. My total investment in the property at this point is $120,000, and Papa has it listed as worth $103, so I'm already underwater. But I beautified the neighborhood.
All right, anything else from the city on this one?
No, sir, no significant history. That's like the
Okay.
standard percentages.
All right, then, given everything I've heard, the documents I've reviewed, no significant history, new owner, let's see, let's make this paperwork easy. And so, agenda item 7, the case ending in 699, and agenda item 8, the case ending in 018, I'm just gonna reduce those to 0. And then tab 11, the case ending in 0567, I'm gonna reduce that to $1,000. Can you pay that within 30 days? Or do you need more time?
I would like more time, sir, because
I'll give you-
50% of my money all of my income comes from tenants, 4 houses, and 2 of them aren't paying me right now, so,
Do it in 6 months?
sure,
6 months.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if I was following along correctly, that should cover everything on our agenda today. So, anything else
No mas,
for me to worry about today?
no
Here?
mas.
Okay, then it is 12 o'clock and we stand adjourned.